Hey there, it's Rick Masnick of Network Funding coming to you from a quarantined location. And on that subject, if you're someone who was looking into purchasing a home and during the pandemic you got laid off and now you're thinking you can't go and buy a home, well, that's not necessarily true. I'm happy to tell you. The fact of the matter is, anytime someone is laid off from a job, if they're called back, as long as we can prove that they're back to work and there's a pretty substantial chance they're going to continue in that employment, we can still get them a mortgage. Anyone who's been laid off or furloughed during the pandemic has a very good excuse for what happened and why they were laid off. We do have to write a letter of explanation as to why the layoff happened. Personally, I think you could just write COVID-19 and sign the piece of paper and you'd be all set. But as long as you're back to work and we can prove there's a reasonable expectation of you continuing in that employment, you're good to go on getting a mortgage. And by that, I mean, if you've been at the same job for a number of years, you get laid off during this time period. Maybe you work in a restaurant and they don't do takeout. Maybe you're an employee of a department store that's closed during this time period. Well, you get back to work, you got a couple of pay stubs, everything's kind of back to normal, then we can get you a mortgage. So even during this time period, if you're not working and you want to start a mortgage application, there's no reason you can't. You can get a pre-approval done, and one of the conditions of the pre-approval is that you'd have to be back to work and show a couple of pay stubs before we could close on the mortgage, but you could still get it done. So I'm happy to tell you that. If you have any questions on this topic, you want to go forward with a mortgage application or start looking into possible homes on the market, then reach out to David or myself and we'll get you on that path. This has been Rick Masnick with your Mortgage Minute. Take care.